Hi, welcome to The Boot. We're here to react to the very latest breaking news on Cristiano Ronaldo.
So, if you haven't heard yet, Cristiano supposedly is going to Saudi Arabia to a club there for about 75 million a year on the field and 200 million dollars a year in total, including endorsements. I'm only laughing because it's really sad and it's a little bit surprising given Cristiano's ego, frankly, which has been one reason that he's been such a great player. And I'll just say from the start, we are probably bigger fans in general of Cristiano than most fans in the world. And that's just my gut feel. And we also think that most things in life are a lot more complex than headlines, and we all tend to react one way or kind of sometimes jump on the bandwagon. In this case, there's been some negative press out there already in the last half hour or so about Cristiano being greedy and stuff. And I'll just quickly liken it to Neymar. Some people jump on the bandwagon about Neymar, and the way he sometimes rolls on the ground and stuff, but he's a phenomenal player, and he's actually kind of put that, for the most part, behind him. So my first big reaction is something that I haven't heard yet, and I don't think you're going to hear anywhere. Sometimes we just try to bring up some unique views, and that is, I'm going to poke fun or criticize Manchester United. Yes, we all know that Cristiano is responsible for himself, and you'll probably touch on that a little bit. But Man U is largely to blame for this whole nonsense. And it starts with Cristiano doesn't get the credit that he deserves for what he did for Man U, even recently. He carried that club on his shoulders all the way up through May of even this year to get them even into the Europa League, which, if you're not aware, the top 4 teams in the Premier League qualify for the Champions League, which is the ultimate. But the next 3 teams qualify for Europa, and that's a really big deal. And Man U almost finished like 8th or 9th. Had it not been for Cristiano, they certainly would have. And so, yeah, you can criticize that he's not the greatest defensive player or whatever, but he scored a ton of goals, and he was their best player by far. And frankly, all these folks, like, with all due respect, Craig Burley on ESPN this evening, talking about how Cristiano's talent's gone down. No, I beg your pardon. Of course, everyone's talent goes down a little bit from age 37 or at 38 from 37, but I'm sorry, if Messi or Neymar or Mbappe was only getting played every 5 games, they would be rusty too. Same with Michael Jordan basketball or whatever. So sorry, not buying that. So I'm all about Man U has been a disaster, and all the Man U fans can agree with me. This is talking management and ownership too. How about you?
Well, honestly, I'm surprised. I know right when the World Cup, or soon after the World Cup had ended, there was rumor, if you will, about him possibly joining the Saudi club. And I thought, no, there's no way he'll not do that. And he's joined a club called Al Nassr. I'm not sure that that's really going to be the favorite place for his family to live if they choose to move over. It's a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
But I am surprised because he is still an elite player. He's not what he was when he's 25. None of us are. But he's still good and good enough to run circles around a lot of players who are at high levels still, playing in high clubs and good clubs. And so I don't know. We don't know. Like you said, it's a complex issue. I'm sure there's tons of things going on behind the scenes we have no idea about. And it may have been that he attempted and tried to get on with another club somewhere in Europe, and they just wouldn't sign on, whether because of the amount of money or what they deemed as, problems personally, how he handled the situation at Man U. We don't know. And maybe we won't know. I don't know. We'll have to see how things unfold. But he's chosen this, and it's a sad thing for the football world. I think anybody who likes to see good football, because he's still capable of playing good football, even if he's not what he was, again, when he was much younger.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be seeing that. He has essentially moved into a place where he's out of the eyes of the world football scene, basically. We're not going to be seeing him play, hearing about him play. He's just sort of out.
That's sad.
Now, for Saudi Arabia, they are trying to sort of endorse and emphasize football within their nation. A lot of Saudi Arabia citizens and in the Middle East in general are starting to catch on, and they like it, so it's going to be fantastic for them. And I do hope that they're successful in utilizing him in this way to grow and foster a love for the game, and especially with the children. And maybe they will, and I'm sure that's a huge part of what they're doing in this whole design of having him come on board. But a sad day, I think, for football world, because he's had such a phenomenal career, and the antics with Man U have tarnished that some. And it tends to be those things, particularly that happened at the end of your career, that stay with you because that's what people remember, that recency bias.
Yeah.
And I will say Man U certainly has their part to blame, but he has done better in times past of maintaining a level of responsibility and professionalism that he just didn't with Man U, such as things like leaving 2 minutes before a match is over. That's just unacceptable.
So if you didn't catch that, tell him what happened.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, he actually left the field and went into the locker room with like 2 or 3 minutes left to go in the game. Now, supposedly Ten Hag, the coach, was going to put him on as a sub too. I think that's Ten Hag just being opportunistic. I don't know that he really called for Cristiano. He probably looked over his shoulder, didn't see him, and was like, oh, yeah, no, I wanted to put him on the field. So again, a little bit of a clown show at Man U. My only other reaction is with the Saudis. Again, it's a unique one. We don't always have reactions just to be unique, but it's fun to look at different perspectives that maybe others aren't. And that is, you talk about Cristiano's ego. This is even a bigger ego move for the Saudis. In fact, Cristiano, this isn't all an ego move. It's clearly partly money, and that he just couldn't find a job anywhere else, really. And he wasn't going to go to MLS, at least yet. The Saudis, I believe, literally, it's a bragging point how much they paid him. It's kind of, again, the world's a little bit backwards in a lot of ways. And so why they're paying this guy $75 million a year and $200 million in total is an absolute joke, right? They don't need to. I mean, they could have bought him for pennies on the dollar. And it's purely so they can sit around. We don't hold any punches here. And, over drinks and maybe they don't drink, whatever. Sit around and joke about, I paid, $200 million for this guy. It's just a bragging thing. And I think, sadly, the other thing is desperation. So they just pull off a really nice World Cup in Qatar, right in their backyard. And this is, this is a regional thing. And I think they're desperate. They're like, oh, now we've got a void. Now we've got to keep the world's attention here. And hopefully to grow the sport, we need a big name player. And they probably would have gone after somebody if it wasn't Cristiano.
Well, I don't know what was in the mind of the Saudis, if Ronaldo's a little bit of a trophy to somebody or not. But I think obviously they were going to have to offer someone of his stature a considerable sum of money, just because of the default. He's having to go to Saudi Arabia for 2 years, out of the football world limelight to end his career. And I think that was going to cost anybody a significant sum of money that wasn't in, as I said, just the light of the normal football world.
Yeah, good point. I don't think it needed to be $75 million, because to play to his ego, they could have been like, look, you're going to be the guy not only in Saudi Arabia, but the entire region. Like, you're going to fill the Qatar World Cup void. So...
But at any rate, at the end of the day, I look at this and I say, it's not what I want. It's not what I would have wished for. It's surprising and it's sad.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is Cristiano Ronaldo's decision. It's his career. It's his family. They're making this decision. And if that's how he wants to transition or even end his career, that's his right. And we wish him well. Yep. And we hope that this succeeds in instilling a love and a passion for football in the hearts of Middle Eastern children, especially. Yeah. And grows up some amazing teams one day. Yeah, true. Best wishes to him and his family. And to you, a happy new year as well. And... we are appreciative of you being here with us. Sorry, I'm still sad thinking about Cristiano Ronaldo, but thank you. I got some tissues for her. Thank you for watching The Boot with us. Please like and subscribe. And remember that football is life. At The Boot. All right. Thank you. We'll see you later.